At the core of my work, whether I'm helping clients through past life regression, hypnotherapy, or energy healing, or just intuitive consulting, talk therapy that I do over the phone and in person, the main thing that we're always working on is reactivity. And sometimes I don't talk enough about just plain reactivity and what it is and what it's like to actually clear it. So I thought I'd address that a little bit today. Reactivity, as opposed to activity, as opposed to things that are not programmed into your system, reactivity is about self-preservation, and it's about reacting to emotions that come from events from a long time ago. So these are things that you haven't really gotten over on some level. Like the kids in school called you stupid or awkward or whatever when you were in second grade, and if somebody calls you stupid now, you react. You react above any need to react. You react very automatically and wonder why you did. It's kind of like a fight or flight type of thing, that either people react aggressively, they might react by moving away from the thing, running away, or constricting. And I'm going to do another video after this about two different types of reactivity. So keep your eye out for that one. But basically, what reactivity comes down to is protecting the ego. Spirit has no need for reactivity. It has no need to get stuck in a reaction for years or maybe your whole life. Ego is not free-flowing. Ego is very brittle and feels a need to defend itself. Spirit is very fluid and is immortal. So, the basic nature of spirit is that it knows that it will never die, that it always changes forms, and that it's connected to all that is. Ego, on the other hand, innately knows that it is a temporary phenomenon. And it knows that it's brittle, it's fragile, and so it protects itself through reactivity. And in spiritual healing, in the whole quest for spirituality that people go through, a lot of people want to skip over dealing with their reactivity. And I'm here to tell you that it's not going to work. It doesn't matter how many caves you meditate in the Himalayas. If that process doesn't help you clear reactivity, then any spiritual attainment that you get will be brought down by that reactivity eventually. It's all about being stuck. It's all about defending something that doesn't really need to be defended. And so a good thing to do is to kind of write down a list, especially if you're going to work with somebody like me, like a healer, hypnotherapist, any kind of alternative practitioner, or even regular therapist. Write down all the kinds of reactivity that you have. Now, remember, not all reactivity is you getting mad at somebody. A lot of times reactivity is about shutting down. And like I said, I'm going to do a video about that. And so if you can list the ways that you're reactive, and start noticing them, and start noticing these things that are kind of out of control, right? You have triggers, like somebody calls you a name, or somebody doesn't believe what you said, whatever it may be. And then you have automatic reactions that are kind of not really fully in your control, or they don't feel that way. So if you write a list of these things and you start working on them, and then you start noticing the reactivity not happening, it's an amazing thing. It's the best way of really seeing that your own self-healing is working. When I first became a healer, I committed to doing 1 session a week with a healer that was further ahead on the path. And what I would notice is that when I cleared a reactive issue, let's say getting mad when you're criticized or something, what would happen is, let's say I would get criticized a few times and I wouldn't get mad, and I wouldn't even notice I didn't get mad. I just wouldn't even think about it. And then it's like I would get criticized the 3rd or 4th time and then realize that I didn't react. And I'd say, wow, that's weird. I didn't have my usual reaction. And then I would remember the other 2 or 3 times that had come before that I didn't even notice. And then I'd realize that, wow, the pattern has changed. Now, one thing about all healing is that you'll have different levels of the pattern. So as you heal the grosser level, the bigger level, later on you might find a finer grain level of the issue come up. It doesn't mean you didn't clear the issue. It just means that there's more work to do. Clearing your reactive patterns is at the core of healing, and it's really crucial in order to open the pathway to spirit. Because spirit can't really go where all the reactivity is happening. It just kind of cancels it out. Anyway, to find out more about my work, you can go to andysway.com or get in touch with me at andysway@yahoo.com if you'd like a phone session or in-person session in the LA area. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.